Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. Today we got a hell of a show for you guys. This is going to be a good one. But before we get into it, we're going to be launching an exclusive Dreamers Pro community very soon. If you want early access to receive a one-time offer that will only be available to people on the waiting list, please make sure you go ahead and do so. We have over 320 signups so far. So if you want to be a part of that, please make sure you do that. We have that pinned in the comments and the description below. Let's get into today's topic. So the Lakers are always the talk of the town, right? They're always the talk of the town every single season. It usually seems now that they're the biggest story in the NBA, and this year is no different. But coming into this season, the Lakers were making some headlines because of some coaching decisions they were looking to make. As you guys know, they fired Darvin Ham at the end of last season, and with that, it created a vacancy, right? It created a vacancy, and some of the candidates that we heard, of course, Dan Hurley. Obviously, we heard J.J. Redick ultimately got the job. But prior to that, there was another coach that the Lakers had on their radar, and that coach was Tyronn Lue. Now, Tyronn Lue had a successful campaign with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He won his first championship with the Cavs, came back from a 3-1 deficit to win a championship alongside LeBron James, Kyrie Irving. I think Kevin Love was on that team, if I'm not mistaken. And then he ultimately took the job of the Clippers, right? And every single season he had been the coach of the Clippers. They had a winning record. But as his contract was getting close to expiring, people were like, well, the Lakers should go after Tyronn Lue, right? But ultimately, we heard that things fell apart, that they wanted to pick his coaching staff and blah, 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 blah. And Ty Lue decided to turn down the offer and then go re-sign, with the Clippers for an extension that he currently has. And he seems to be very, very happy with the situation there. So what happened? This morning, or really yesterday, the story came out about Ty Lue basically breaking down why he decided not to sign with the Lakers, even though LeBron James himself tried to convince him, on multiple occasions. And the article we want to read from today is a Sports Illustrated article that has the following headline, and it says, Ty Lue reveals disrespectful offer from the Los Angeles Lakers. So let's get into the article here. It continues on, and it says, before Ty Lue became the coach of the Clippers, he was once offered the head coaching job of the Los Angeles Lakers. The rumors at the time stated that Lue felt disrespected by the offer that the Lakers brought him, and it turns out those rumors were true. During an interview on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Lue revealed how disrespectful the coaching offer from the Lakers was. The Lakers wanted to offer him a shorter deal with less money and wanted to pick his coaching staff. It's especially disrespectful when you factor in the fact that Lue won a championship with the Lakers as a player. Continues on. The respect level of where I came from and knowing LeBron was on our team, you automatically think, well, LeBron did everything, which he did a lot. I don't think they had the same respect for me as I felt they should, Lue said. They offered me the job on a 3-year basis, and they wanted to pick my coaching staff, and I just wasn't going to do that. For me to be a championship coach, to take a 3-year deal when everyone else is getting 5-year deals and more money, and then you want to pick my staff as well, I just thought that was a slap in the face. As a young black head coach, I just thought it was a bad example I was setting up for other guys coming up after me. Aside from the disrespect, Lue didn't also want to leave his coaching staff behind in Cleveland. If he took the job with the Lakers, then he would have left the team stranded without jobs. I'm a loyal person, Lue said. For me, to take the job and leave my guys behind in Cleveland with no job, then they were going to be out of the league. Wasn't going to be able to take those guys with me. That was tough for me to do, to leave my guys behind. The Lakers didn't do anything wrong. They offered me the job. It was up to me to take the deal. I just said I respectfully declined. The modern day Lakers organization may have some questionable decisions when it comes to their former players. The way they treated both Ty Lue and the legendary Jerry West is something that's just hard to understand. So that's what the article had to say there. I want to get into this story here. We need to talk about this more because Laker leadership is really being protected by the media, Jeannie Buss especially. The Lakers are a confused organization. They have been this way going on a decade now. They are confused. Totally confused. Going all the way back to when they hired Mike D'Antoni, when they were supposed to bring in Phil Jackson. Because of a quarrel that existed between Jeannie Buss and I forgot her brother's name. At the time, I think he was the general manager. I forgot his name. But I guess he didn't like Phil Jackson or whatever it is. So they passed up an opportunity to get a championship head coach that had won, 5 championships with the Lakers, 11 rings overall, and they decided to screw that up, and they went with Mike D'Antoni. That didn't work out. Then after that, I think they hired, was it Byron Scott or Luke Walton? But I think it was Byron Scott. Then he eventually hired Luke Walton. That didn't work out. Then they hired Frank Vogel, who ultimately helped them win a championship, and before you knew it, they fired him. Then they got Darvin Ham. They kept him for 2 years. Then they fired him. Then they had an opportunity before that to sign Ty Lue. They didn't. Then they had an opportunity this summer to get Dan Hurley. They screwed that one up. And now they ended up with a podcaster in JJ Redick. And now we're hearing that Ty Lue felt disrespected from the job. I heard one bozo on the internet yesterday say, well, what has Ty Lue done since then? What have the Lakers done since then? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. What have the Lakers done since then? Nothing. You're talking about what has Ty Lue done since then? What have the Lakers done? Nothing. But to me, this speaks to the leadership of the organization. The Lakers have no leadership. They seem to be totally tone deaf to their fan base. I think the Lakers only take sentiments from people that attend the games and people that are in there cheering like, well, this must be how all fans feel, when in reality they don't. The article also brought up the issue with the fallout between themselves and Jerry West. When Jeannie Buss went out there and talked about her most 5 influential Lakers of all time, and she left out Jerry West and put LeBron up there. Think about that for a second. She left out Jerry West and mentioned LeBron over Jerry West. And if you know anything about the Lakers, he is Mr. Laker. Like, he helped build so many championship teams. So they disrespected him as well. To me, the Lakers are the premier clown show of the NBA. Premier at the top of the list. All the way from management, all the way down. All the way down. And to me, I don't know why the media doesn't spend enough time talking about the management, because it's a clown show. Utter clown show. And this article just proves it. And by the way, we're going to be launching an exclusive Dreamers Pro community very, very soon. And if you want to be a part of it to ensure that you receive a one-time offer, please make sure you join the waiting list. We have over 300 people signed up already. So if you want to receive that one-time offer, only the people on the waiting list, please make sure you go ahead and do so. Let's get into today's topic. So we have reached a point in the season where we're pretty much at the panic mode section of the season for the Lakers, where now, with 20 games in, they're like, okay, so who do we trade for? Who do we get rid of? Who needs to go there? Who needs to come? We've already gotten to that point. Meanwhile, they have Pat Riley sitting on the sideline. And now they're trying to spin it at ESPN and say, well, the problem with the Lakers is they just have a bad roster. Well, I thought they had a bad roster last year. They're like, no. It's the roster, but it's also the coaching. So, we're going to change the coaching, hoping for better results, and the results are virtually the same. As a matter of fact, last year, the Lakers were getting ready to celebrate the NBA Cup. The NBA Cup. This year, they won't be doing that. But anyway, I digress. So now they're talking about the Lakers this and the Lakers that. But then, out of nowhere, they had a segment on ESPN. Malika Andrews was there. Kendrick Perkins was there. Brian Windhorst, I believe, was there. And Mike Wilbon was there on that segment, on that panel. And they started floating this idea of LeBron being traded, right? And the team that they said LeBron could potentially be traded to is the Golden State Warriors. And then out of nowhere, all of a sudden, this started to become a thing. And today, when I clicked on YouTube, I was just kind of scrolling through there, and I saw a segment featuring Brian Windhorst. Now, Brian Windhorst has been following LeBron for his entire career. And he was on the segment, and they were asking him, like, look, how real of a possibility could this be that LeBron James could ultimately end up going to the Golden State Warriors? And I'm like, wow, they're really, really talking about this. So what we want to do now is want to play what Brian Windhorst had to say on ESPN regarding the possibility of LeBron joining the Golden State Warriors, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Brian Windhorst here.
that could be. But who else is on their list, Roz? That's LeBron James. And I know that this is one of the most fascinating opportunities in the league. It's a delicious scenario to think about. The Warriors have dreamed of pairing LeBron with Steph Curry and Draymond Green since last year. They've made an inquiry, and it got shut down last February. That was before LeBron played with Steve Kerr and Steph Curry and won the gold medal over the summer. So they will definitely monitor the situation, and I don't think they do anything without knowing this door is locked. But I would just say with LeBron, it's up to him. He has a no-trade clause, and he has given no indication he wants the Lakers to do anything but upgrade the roster they've got, not that he wants to go anywhere.
So how do they do that? How do the Lakers go about upgrading the roster to LeBron's satisfaction?
Yeah, the Lakers are actually a very simple team to look at. They're a terrible defensive team, Dan. They're 26th in the league. There's only 30 teams, okay? The teams below them are all awful at the bottom of the standings. It's actually an accomplishment that they're 2 games over 500 with a defense as bad as they have. So any transaction they make has got to be for players who can play defense. And specifically, they need a big man. Their big man situation right now, after Anthony Davis, is really in tatters. They've been playing two-way guys because of injuries and lack of depth there. And then when I talk to executives in the league, they say when the Lakers have had conversations, they've actually been looking for a guard too. They're looking for a guard who can defend. They have D'Angelo Russell who could be used in a trade. And so they need defensive players. But, I got to tell you, the Lakers have not made a significant transaction trade-wise in almost 2 years. So this is an old story with the same roster, basically achieving the same way.
So what happens if they don't do what LeBron wants them to do? Like, is there a world where they do make a move, where he does end up at some place like Golden State? Is that at all possible at this point?
I'm a gigantic actions over words guy, Dan. And LeBron's actions at last year's trade deadline when he rejected the interest in the Warriors, last summer he sat there and offered to take less money from the Lakers if they could find somebody in free agency. They didn't. And then he went ahead and signed a 3-year contract with a no-trade clause anyway. All of those actions make it extremely clear he wants to be a Laker. That said, we have 2 months, basically 2 months from right now is when the trade deadline is. If he changes his mind, I promise you it will get public and we will all know. But right now, he wants to be a Laker, and he's focused on having the Lakers help him get some defensive players.
So you heard what Brian Windhorst had to say. What are my thoughts on this? If you look at the title, I said that ESPN floats an idea that may absolutely destroy or lead to the destruction of the legacy of LeBron James. Why do we name it that way? Right now, LeBron James is in this imaginary GOAT conversation, right? He's in this imaginary GOAT conversation that people out there are trying to promote. And the media is so desperate. They're so desperate. You can see it. They're so desperate for LeBron to get another ring. By hook or crook, they're trying to find a way to get LeBron another ring. And now they're floating the idea of LeBron going to join Stephen Curry. Well, I'm assuming that they were like, well, if LeBron joins with Stephen Curry, based off of what we saw during the Summer Olympics, these guys will definitely have a chance of winning a championship. So the question then becomes, what if that happens? What if LeBron does join the Warriors? And what if he does win a championship? Does that help his legacy? Not only will it not help his legacy, I think it would absolutely destroy his legacy. Because at that point, it would mean that LeBron had to run to Stephen Curry to get saved just to win another title that he may not win Finals MVP on or over him, and then to hoist up a trophy and be like, what, now I'm 5 away from Jordan? Really? Really? Was there ever any question who led the Bulls to those championships during those championship years? If LeBron joined Stephen Curry, there would be. But I think there's another aspect of this that people are not paying attention to. LeBron is very, very smart. If LeBron joins the Warriors and the Warriors win a championship, he will ensure that Stephen Curry is not ahead of him in rings. Because, for example, let's say Steph goes on to win this year. For example. And he wins 5 rings in the LeBron James era. How can you make an argument that LeBron is any type of GOAT when there was a player that ate more than him in his own era? How can you do that? How do you do it? Now, a lot of us out here don't even feel like this is a GOAT debate. So if LeBron were to go join Stephen Curry to try to go win a championship, well, we'll know that ultimately this was a clown show after all. And it would just scream desperation. And then you know what? If he did leave, I would probably spend about 2 weeks, 3 weeks to a month laughing at the Lakers, the Laker fans that supported him coming there. And then slowly I will, once LeBron has packed his bags and the LeBron fans have funneled out, and because they're going to leave, they're all going to leave eventually. Once they funnel out and then they go over to the Golden State Warriors organization to go destroy it, then once they've gone and I can sit back, all of us former Laker fans, Kobe fans can sit back, kind of breathe, look at Staples Center again and say, or Crypto Arena, whatever, and be like, well, we may have to come on home. But until then, you ain't going to see people like me. And by the way, we're going to be launching an exclusive Dreamers Pro community very, very soon. And if you want to be a part of it to ensure that you receive a one-time offer, please make sure you join the waiting list. We have over 300 people signed up already. So if you want to receive that one-time offer, only the people on the waiting list, please make sure you go ahead and do so. All right, let's get into this topic now. I've been kind of like on this thing of defending Kobe and all of that, blah, 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 blah. In terms of his position in the game and all of this. But something interesting happened early this week. Not early this week, like a day or two ago. As you guys know, Shannon Sharpe usually makes appearances on ESPN First Take twice a week. And now we're hearing that he's going to be there every week now, not just during football season or whatever it is. He's going to be there every single week. So we're going to be seeing Shannon Sharpe on there. So during this segment, it was Shannon Sharpe, Molly Karam, Stephen A. Smith, and Kendrick Perkins. And they were discussing an idea that Michael Wilbon floated on, I think, NBA Tonight or something. I forgot the name of their show, where he said that one of the teams that should consider looking at a player to get in terms of a star player is the Golden State Warriors. And the player that they need to consider trying to go after is LeBron James. And that created this new conversation of, what would it be like for LeBron to go join Stephen Curry and go play? And I know LeBron fans, they were up there rubbing their titties, getting high porn honey all over their bellies, lathering it up, talking about, oh man, LeBron go to Curry, he gonna win another ring. We're gonna come out here and start twerking all over the tables and say, oh, he the GOAT, he the GOAT, he the GOAT. So what happened? Stephen A. Smith is up there, and he just listening to Shannon and these guys go off, just pouring honey all over the desks. And then Stephen A. Smith gives them the rudest wake up call of all when he goes, if LeBron James goes to the Golden State Warriors and wins a championship with Stephen Curry, he will be out of the GOAT conversation forever and totally shut down Shannon Sharpe in the process of doing so, because Shannon was getting ready to start hollering and screaming, go James, go. And it was just absolutely fantastic to watch. So what we want to do is we want to play what he had to say to these guys, and I want to come back and really give you guys our thoughts. Take a listen to this exchange here.
But here's the deal. I would make the argument I'm nicer to LeBron James than you, Perk. I'm nicer to him than you. I can't believe that just because you sit up there and got him as your GOAT, don't mean that you all peddled with roses when it comes to LeBron James. I'm actually nicer to him than you. Okay? I'm just calling facts. And by the way, let me say this to you, Shannon and Perk. Let me say this to you right now. We're going to get this out the way right now. Oh, no. You don't get to go join Steph Curry and then turn around if you win a championship and think that elevates you to the GOAT. It still wouldn't with me. You can scratch that nonsense right now.
What if we win
Finals MVP? Say what?
We win Finals MVP.
Oh, stop it. I said, you want to quote with Steph Curry. You understand? The greatest shooter God has ever created. Okay? Come on now. You think that if he went to Golden State and won a championship with Steph, that makes him the GOAT above Michael Jordan? Y'all smoking something. You can stop that right there. Don't you even think it.
It's two things, okay? It's two things. I am hard on LeBron James, Stephen A. You're right, because I don't like people who throw stones and hide their hand, right? If you wanted Darvin Ham out of the seat and you wanted him fired, Don't hide your hand on that. We all know that J.J. Redick was your hire. Just don't hide your hand. And it's okay. It's okay. But let me ask both of y'all a question. When you look at the Golden State Warriors and you look at Steph Curry and they talking about going out there and trying to land a star, obviously you got to go get somebody that's going to move the needle, to actually put them in position to win it all, to go in and not only compete with the Western Conference, but compete in case they have to be able to compete with a team like the Boston Celtics. What other players out there?
Well, I'm not saying there's another play out there. I'm not implying otherwise. I mean, I get where Wilbon is coming from, and I don't mind you agreeing from a purely basketball standpoint because the combination of LeBron James with Steph Curry speaks for itself. I'm just simply saying that considering the changes he instituted and he provoked, he doesn't get to escape and go to some place like Golden State. And by the way, Perk and Shay.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. Do you know that in the mind of a LeBron fan, they actually think that, oh, if LeBron goes there, he's going to now, if he wins 5 championships, be all of a sudden now, man, he's just one away. Like, first of all, if y'all say LeBron is a GOAT, why does he need to go over there? For goodness sake, LeBron is playing with a top 75 player and he can't figure it out. Do you know, like, y'all, like, people think when Jordan was winning all these championships, he had these super stacked teams. Even in his second three-peat, he didn't even have Horace Grant there. He had Scottie, who was a legitimate bona fide player, all-star, defender, all of that on the team. He had Kukoc, who was coming off the bench, 6-man role. He had Dennis Rodman, but Dennis Rodman was 37 years old. It wasn't like as if, and Jordan was like, what, 33, 34, 35. So it wasn't like as if Jordan was out there running around with all of these spring chickens and he himself was a spring chicken. No. So Jordan was able to win these championships with 2 All-Stars, really, 1.5, but I'll give you 2, and a bunch of role players. But you guys say that Jordan is not the GOAT. So if Jordan is not the GOAT, then LeBron must be better than Jordan. So therefore, why does he need to go to Stephen Curry? When he's playing with a player like Anthony Davis, who's better than anybody that Jordan had on his entire Chicago Bulls run. Like anybody. Anthony Davis is a better talent than Scottie Pippen. He is. So why can't he get it done? And some of y'all say, well, he's old, but this is his 7th year with AD, which means that him and AD became teammates, 30 when he was 33, 34, whatever it was? So why can't he do what Jordan did, or matter of fact, do even better than Jordan did? Y'all keep telling me he the GOAT. Y'all keep telling me he the GOAT. So why does he need to run to Stephen Curry? I don't understand this. And finally, LeBron fans, y'all ain't got no shame. LeBron gonna run to Stephen Curry. That's what's next. Now, personally, it will make for great content because we're gonna be talking about that until the cows come home. And for me, as a former Laker fan, it would mean that soon the LeBron fans will start vacating the turnstiles and leave the Lakers. You know, because when LeBron leaves or retires or whatever, we're going to have to give it a grace period. We're going to have to fumigate the building, make sure there's no honey stacked under the chairs, nothing like that. No, like, make sure that there's no tables shaking because they twerking. Maybe they twerking under the tables. We don't know. We got to give it like a month to make sure that there's no stragglers behind. Once the LeBron fans finally leave cryptoarena.com arena, whatever, then us real Laker fans, Kobe fans will now kind of inspect the building and say, well, it looks like they're gone. And now we can safely walk in and try to rebuild this building that LeBron and these guys poured honey all over. So, look, if he leaves, great. Trust me. Let me tell y'all this. If LeBron leaves the Lakers, Laker fans are going to rejoice. Mark my word. If LeBron leaves the Lakers, Laker fans are going to rejoice. It's going to be the funniest thing ever. LeBron fans would think, well, you ain't going to miss him. You're going to miss me when I'm gone. Lakers are like, no, we not. Laker fans are like, no, we not. No, we not. Do you know how many of them is like, yo, son, just leave already. Like, yo, retire already. Like, we're tired. It's like the only people that are enjoying this are LeBron fans. Laker fans like, yo, we're tired. We're tired. If you want, take Bronny with you. And by the way, we're going to be launching an exclusive Dreamers Pro community very, very soon. And if you want to be a part of it to ensure that you receive a one-time offer, please make sure you join the waiting list. We have over 300 people signed up already. So if you want to receive that one-time offer, only the people on the waiting list, please make sure you go ahead and do so.